What are you fighting for?
That takes care of the cremation.
It's pretty straightforward making our way back from here, with just a cutscene showing Snake feeling the regret of not being able to save Meryl from before.
I want to help you.
Quiet down, save your strength.
Don't forget me.
Snake after this gets a codec call. The crew work together to alleviate the pain Snake's going through. Master also joins in when he notices something doesn't quite add up with Naomi.
Yes, he was Japanese, and he became a special undercover investigator to nab the mafia.
When was that?
Oh, sometime in the 50s, I guess.
Where?
New York, I think.
Naomi, I thought you didn't have any family.
My grandfather was already dead by the time I learned about him. I never even had the chance to meet him.
Once the call ends, Snake is free to enter the communications tower. Once inside, it's dark and an eerie ambience can be heard in the background. As we make our way into the tower, the coast is clear right up until Snake gets caught by a security camera. The silence and eerie ambience comes to an end, and the situation Snake now finds himself in is comparable to John McClane in Die Hard fighting to stay alive in the Nakatomi Tower, outnumbered by all the guards hot on Snake's trail. There's a door to escape halfway up, but it's not opening. Asking the expert on this island, Otacon informs Snake of the obvious.
That door sometimes gets frozen shut because it's so cold outside.
Next time, tell me beforehand.
Trapped running until he reaches the top of the tower. A codec call after this reveals how good Snake's remote support have it.
I made it to the roof.
You must be exhausted, Snake.
It was no big deal.
Snake, I'm monitoring you closely. Your heart rate is elevated and your breathing is shallow.
What's the matter, Snake? You out of shape from all that dog mushing?
Don't get used to the quietness around Snake.
Damn! Snake!
So Snake needs to stay alive while dodging the Hind D. What good timing the Foxhound have, right? The calm before the storm.
What are you going to do? Take on a hind with your bare hands?
As Snake now has to navigate down this rope while dodging all the steam in the way. After he takes out the guards in the way, Liquid shows up again as Snake ducks into the other side of the communications tower. Finally safe and out of the cold, Snake can enjoy a brief respite. Up ahead, the way to the top is blocked. Looks like travelling down would be the right move. Snake finds it's no good as this side is blocked too, leaving Snake trapped.
Damn!
So now what? As we make our way back up though, we could hear a rustling noise close by as Snake gets into position. So while Snake was getting chased up the Nakatomi Tower and dodging the Hind D, Otacon took the more scenic route. Not to rub it in Snake's face though, as he praises Snake for his no-nonsense, take no prisoners heroics.
You're incredible. Like a movie hero or something.
On the subject of heroics though, Snake being helpless in saving Meryl from getting caught weighs heavy on him, as it was Snake watching Meryl as she said these words.
Got it. I'll be careful.
And not long after this, Snake helplessly watches Meryl suffer and struggle with her decision.
But war is ugly. There's nothing glamorous about it.
Otacon worries as Snake makes his next request.
Don't worry, it'll be easy.
I told you before I don't want to hurt anyone.
So that's the plan. Otacon does what he knows, fixing things, while Snake makes his way up to mash up the Hind D and the one in the pilot seat. After making our way up the side of the communications tower, Snake as expected comes face to face with the Hind D that took out that connecting bridge from earlier, making Snake's journey longer than it needed to be. That's just Liquid's thing, he's not panicked or stressed by Snake's presence. Even though every Foxhound member that's come across Snake winds up either getting badly injured or permanently defeated. Liquid, just like Snake, is a man of passion, and no matter what comes in their way, they'll never let on to appearing panicked or stressed, or at least on the outside anyway. Things get tense as Snake takes on the Hind D head on. Nothing a couple of rations and half a dozen Stinger missiles won't fix. A cutscene is followed by Snake dropping a cold lyric for Liquid.
That takes care of the cremation.
Yippee-ki-yay. After Snake wishes happiness for Liquid, we get a call from Otacon about that elevator. It's really strange how it all started to work like nothing happened. Otacon, when asked, confirms this is the right way to get to Metal Gear in the underground maintenance base.
It's towards the back of the snowfield ahead.
Okay.
As Snake makes his way down the eerie tower, we can jump in the elevator and ride it down. There's just one thing though.
Huh?
Yeah, that's right, you hear it too. A strange noise as you enter. I don't like or trust elevators as it is, but that's not what makes me nervous here. Anyway, something to keep in mind as Snake makes his way down. While the fun never stops inside the communications tower as the two realize something's not quite right.
I have stealth camouflage prototypes in my lab.
Yeah, so?
I thought I'd get one for you. So I went back to the lab and
Yeah?
the 4 suits were missing. Also, about the elevator that I checked out, it's really strange. It was like someone was intentionally holding it.
When you were riding on it, did the weight limit warning go off?
Look out, Snake! The guys who stole my stealth prototypes are in there with you!
All's well it ends well as Snake neutralizes the threat of being outnumbered as he casually rolls out into the blizzard like it ain't no big deal. As Snake leaves the communication tower behind, Snake gets gunned down as he goes about making it through the snow. While it's true love can bloom on a battlefield, so can hate, as the bitter rivalry takes place between Wolf and Snake. It's all about positioning as Wolf makes it difficult for Snake moving from one vantage point to the next. Eventually though, you get used to the pattern and next up, Snake can focus on getting his Foxhound numbers up as he drops the sniper once again. If your discovery game is as good as sniping Wolf, you can see a bonus cutscene about a parachute near the Hind D wreckage.
I found a parachute near the wreckage of the Hind.
So what's that parachute doing there then?
I have no idea.
A trap?
Either that or a message. To me.
Meaning I'm not dead, I suppose.
Maybe. But I think it's more like I'll string you up.
Well, in any case, don't let your guard down.
I won't.
Snake acts on Sniper's final wish, which is to be free from this realm on Shadow Moses. She grew up on the battlefield and prayed for the strength to make it through the day. Before Shadow Moses, she crossed paths with Big Boss. He offered enough stability for her to become the sniper of today in Foxhound, which she joined to exact her revenge on this world for not freeing her from all the misery she faced growing up. Otacon shows up bringing the waterworks along with him.
Goodbye. Snake, you said that love could bloom on the battlefield. But I couldn't save her.
I'm going to the underground base. We're out of time.
I know.
You'll have to protect yourself now. Don't trust anyone.
Yeah,
If I can't stop Metal Gear, this whole place will probably be bombed to hell.
yeah.
We might not meet again.
I'll hang on to my codec. Snake! What was she fighting for? What am I fighting for? What are you fighting for?
If we make it through this, I'll tell you.
The underground maintenance is close after making it past the communications tower, Wolf, the Hind D, and even those crazy guards in the elevator.
Too late, Snake! Now die!
After inserting disc 2, Snake can proceed through the furnace. We just need to be careful here though, as one wrong move can result in Snake paying homage to Terminator 2. After getting past this, we ride a massive elevator that will carry Snake down to another massive elevator. As Snake is entering the commands into the console, it's round 2 of Snake versus the elevator gang. After getting off and onto the next elevator, we get a call from Master. He sounds serious as he requests Snake to secure the line by turning the monitor off. He brings up the whole Naomi thing about her grandfather being in the FBI and going undercover.
It was all a big lie.
What did you say?
She might be a spy.
Ridiculous.
You better check it out. The chief and the president mysteriously dying, and that ninja.
With Master putting a spotlight on Naomi, this causes quite the dynamic beef, as Snake up until this point only had the beef in front of him to deal with. Kojima and his epic directing at play here.
You would be wise not to underestimate him.
As we make our way into the cold warehouse, we come across the Foxhound member in the tank from earlier in the game, Vulcan Raven.
Welcome, Cossack.
He freezes Snake in place with one of his ravens.
Let's put the mark of death upon you. Blood from the east flows within your veins.
Making use of his shaman's spiritual powers, he deems Snake a worthy opponent and gears up for battle. After his ear-pulling suggestions and general love for violence, the fight can begin. There are some creative ways of defeating Raven here. The remote missile comes to mind, but if that's too safe and boring for your style, you can have Snake rush him head on. After beating him up, Raven is very accepting of his defeat. He gives up the security code for the doors up ahead securing Metal Gear and lets us in on the whole DARPA chief thing and Decoy Octopus, the master of disguise. Snake made contact with him in the holding cells at the start of the game.
He was a master of disguise. He copied his subjects down to the blood.
But why go to so much trouble? Why impersonate the chief?
Raven only gives us a part of the story with Decoy and expects Snake to discover the rest of the tale on his way to stop Liquid as Raven fades into another dimension from all his pets feasting on his flesh, as Snake walks away cool and calm like the temperature in this warehouse.
The path you walk on has no end.
Right after this, Snake gets a call from Master. It's about Naomi again, but the Colonel overhears and joins in on their conversation.
So what is this about Naomi?
Okay, maybe we'd better let the Colonel hear this too.
He goes in on Naomi being a spy and that she can't be trusted and needs to be imprisoned. Things are about to get real busy for the Colonel while Snake gets closer to Metal Gear. As we dodge all the spyware, I think it's safe to assume Snake's finally arrived in the underground maintenance base housing Metal Gear. The music of Rex hits us as Snake takes in the view of the giant mech. Things are pretty straightforward here, climbing up a set of ladders and making our way to the control tower. Snake gets a call from Otacon, which is perfect timing as the two can discuss the best strategy in keeping Metal Gear quiet and peaceful. Snake learns that Otacon is a hacker and can get to work on finding the trick to using Baker's override keys. As Snake makes his way forward, Otacon keeps him updated. Snake ends up reaching his destination before Otacon can retrieve the info on how to override Metal Gear. The first thing Snake hears Ocelot say is that they're ready to launch by inserting the power codes. Liquid is also present here, indicating that he did indeed survive that Hind D crash. Liquid then goes on about getting the US president to give in to their demands and adds the Foxdie vaccine to their list, along with Big Boss's remains and a whole lot of dollars. Ocelot shifts the conversation back to the PAL override and that if entered into the system again, it could deactivate Metal Gear. Saying this while he spots Snake on the security monitor eavesdropping on their conversation. Also, Meryl is still among the living. Snake gets the codec call he's been waiting for from Otacon, the way to deactivate Rex. Not long after gaining this knowledge though on stopping Rex, Ocelot gets impatient and shoots the key out of Snake's hand.
Damn.
So Snake needs to defeat some guards, find the key and use it on the first computer.
PAL code number 1, confirm.
Once this is complete, Snake has to freeze the key in that cold warehouse where we fought Raven. After putting in the power from freezing the key, it's time to heat it up.
Warm the key.
While Snake makes his way back up the elevator leading to the furnace with all the heat, he gets a call from Master about Naomi again. It's about the new assassination virus called Foxhound. He urges Snake to remember being given something from Naomi just before this mission, during Snake's debriefing.
Did Naomi give you some kind of injection?
The nanomachines.
Apparently, Foxhound kills its victims by simulating a heart attack.
You're telling me that Naomi was behind it? Colonel, what's new with the Naomi situation?
I just placed Naomi under arrest.
Once Snake gets the key all heated up, we can make our way back to Rex's lair and see about shutting down Metal Gear. On the way down, Snake gets a call from Naomi. She comes clean about this whole situation. Master was right. She reveals that Grey Fox, the ninja from earlier fighting with Snake, is her family. She reveals that she does indeed hate Snake for what happened with Grey Fox and Big Boss. She's been planning to end Snake for the last 2 years. Things start to get a bit nerdy with the whole Foxhound thing, so listen to this next clip.
Foxhound is a type of retrovirus that targets and kills only specific people. They're programmed to respond to specific genetic patterns in the cells. They begin creating TNF-epsilon.
Huh? You must have programmed that thing to kill me too, right?
I'm not the one who made the decision to use Foxhound.
Huh?
You were injected with Foxhound as a part of this operation.
She ends up getting taken away before she can tell Snake the whole truth.
Colonel, let me talk to her.
I won't.
With Naomi captured, Snake can focus on the task at hand as he makes his way back with the final PAL key for Metal Gear.
Complete. Detonation code activated.
No, why?
During the shock Snake feels from unknowingly arming the Metal Gear, he gets a call from Master.
Master, what's going on?
You found the key, and even activated the warhead for us too. You weren't able to learn the DARPA chief's code. Even with Mantis' psychic powers, he couldn't read his mind.
While they tortured the chief of DARPA, Ocelot went a bit too far and whacked him. So while they had Baker's code, they had no way of getting the chiefs, even with the power of Psycho Mantis. They instead anticipated the arrival of Snake and used Decoy to masquerade as the chief to get the info from Snake.
Unfortunately, Octopus didn't survive the encounter, thanks to Foxhound.
You mean you had this plan from the beginning, just to get me to input the detonation code?
Huh? You didn't think you made it this far by yourself, did you?
Snake, that's not Master Miller.
Campbell, you're too late.
Snake, you've been talking to
me, dear brother.
We find that the shit's chestnut Checkers, as he discovers Liquid's been planning this whole thing for Snake to activate Metal Gear from the very beginning. Okay, so we're trapped? Check. Health going down rapidly? Check. Bulletproof glass? Also, check. Calling Otacon is our best hope as he cracked Baker's personal files, so I'm sure a locked door is no sweat. But is he able to crack the lock in time before it's lights out for Snake? As Snake bails out of the control room, we spot a figure run by. Snake finally catches up to Liquid and works on getting some much needed answers. In spite of Naomi working with the Pentagon and using Snake to spread Foxhound, she betrayed them and altered the virus at the last minute before drugging Snake with it, according to Liquid. After this, Liquid goes into a mini rant about the terrible children, Liquid and Snake, the clones of Big Boss.
I got the flawed recessive genes. Everything was done so that you would be the greatest of his children. The only reason I exist is so they could create you.
Snake calls it like it is and puts Liquid in the same boat as Naomi, just a bunch of victims of the past. This ends up triggering Liquid and Snake misses his chance in stopping him from getting in the empty shell of Metal Gear.
Snake, your blood will be the first to be spilled by this glorious new weapon.
Snake has no choice but to get on the moving platform, elevating Rex as everything around him crumbles and falls.
How do I stop
stop it.
Dodging Rex's missile can get pretty wild when you're not in close range. And when you are in close range, you need to be quick in avoiding his laser and machine gun fire. All this while Snake works on taking out the radome guarding Liquid while he's operating in autopilot. While Snake takes in the fact that Liquid is still able to get around in Rex after all that damage, Grey Fox, the ninja we faced from before, you know, the guy who took out the only PlayStation left on this whole island, shows up out of nowhere and stops Rex in his tracks.
Get away! Great Fox!
Fox puts in more damage on that radome, leaving Liquid to go insane and tear up the place, while he catches up with Snake. Snake informs him that Naomi is hell-bent on taking revenge for him and that Fox is the only one that can stop her.
I can't. Why? Because I'm the one who killed her parents. I raised her like she was my own blood to soothe my guilty conscience. Even now she thinks of me as her brother. Fox.
During this scene, Liquid and his machine gun stop messing around and get close to the direction of Fox and Snake. Grey Fox rolls out and takes on Metal Gear. After getting his arm removed, Fox jumps into a higher vantage point but fails to get into position fast enough.
Fox, how strong is that exoskeleton of yours? Snake, are you just going to sit by and watch him die?
Fox does his thing while putting his life on the line, damaging the radome and exposing Liquid, ready for Snake to apply the finishing touches.
But now you're finished!
No! Fire the stinger!
Fox, can you really shoot?
Snake, after failing to take the shot, watches the wounded warrior let out his final battle cry.
Die! Snake, we're not tools of the government or anyone else. Fighting was the only thing I was good at. But at least I always fought for what I believed in. Snake, farewell.
Snake is that much closer to stopping Rex thanks to the damage that Fox put on that radome. Similar to before, all Snake needs to do now is adjust his target from the radome to the cockpit housing Liquid. Once Rex's health reaches 0, we can advance the plot. The explosion of Rex, however, impacts Snake as it blows him away and loses consciousness, allowing Liquid to roll up on him and capture him. Liquid then proceeds to go on about Big Boss's dying wish and how warriors like Snake and Liquid are losing their place in this world.
So why are you here then? Haven't you already killed most of my comrades?
That was...
I watched your face when you did it. It was filled with the joy of battle.
You're wrong.
There's a killer inside you.
It then goes back into Liquid crying about his genes being whack compared to Snake's, and that being one of the reasons why Liquid is after Big Boss's remains. After Liquid lays out his final plans, including defeating Snake, he tells him to turn around. Liquid then tells Snake they're out of time because the Pentagon know the status of Metal Gear and tells Snake to call Colonel for more information on this. So Snake stops the nuclear strike by destroying Rex, and the Pentagon, knowing this about Rex, still want to vaporize Shadow Moses. Meryl was sent to this island because of the Pentagon. They knew this would force the Colonel to cooperate with this mission.
Those bastards.
They forced me to cooperate in exchange for her life.
This is how the Pentagon used the Colonel to get Snake involved in this mission. Their main plan was to get Snake to spread Foxhound and retrieve Rex. But with Rex now being destroyed and Naomi tweaking the Foxdie virus, the only way for them to cover this up and delete all the Foxhound members around them is to drop a nuke of their own, destroying Shadow Moses and all the evidence. The Colonel, after being inspired by Snake's actions today, sets out to put a stop to them.
Don't worry. It's the least I can do for you after all the lies.
Colonel.
The Colonel after this gets taken away and Snake's left dealing with the fool operating under the President.
Jim sent you. You're from the Pentagon.
This is the Secretary of Defense, Jim Houseman.
Put the Colonel back on.
He confirms what we already know is going to happen next, while adding that losing the chief of DARPA was a shame and things could work out if Snake hands over Baker's disc with all that nerdy stuff on Rex. After the codec call, Liquid frees Snake and the two prepare to face off. There's no rations in this fight, so it's a game of dropping the enemy's life faster than yours. Otherwise... After Snake drops Liquid, he focuses his attention on saving Meryl and getting the heck out of here.
It must have been terrible.
Oh, it wasn't that bad. I was fighting too.
That's my codec.
Hal's awesome enough to hook up Snake and Meryl with a plan to escape, while he stays behind in the crumbling island, sorting out their escape route.
But they're going to use a surface-piercing nuclear bomb. It won't hold.
Snake, I'm a complete person now. I've found a reason to live.
Good. Don't die on me.
Same to you. Take care of Meryl, okay?
I will.
I promise I'll do something about your escape route.
Things really start coming down after gearing up and leaving the destroyed Metal Gear behind. Snake needs to hold off the guards while Meryl starts up the Jeep. He's got to clear the way for Meryl as the guards start piling in. We repeat this as the two make their way through the underground tunnels to escape the island of Shadow Moses. Liquid shows up after Snake makes light work of the guards around him as he poses the final challenge for Snake. The Jeep has him pinned as Snake and Meryl work on freeing each other.
It's no good. I can't move.
Liquid then shows up with an AK, but the AK is not what I'm worried about as Liquid falls from the delayed Foxhound virus, meaning Snake is next. The Colonel managed to sort things out on his end. Naomi joins in on the codec call and goes through the whole Foxhound situation while Snake tells her about Grey Fox.
But he had one last message he wanted to say to you. He told me to tell you to forget about him and to go on with your own life.
Frankie said that?
Naomi, your brother just saved you, me, and the whole world. He fought with every ounce of strength in his body.
It started with Naomi hating on Snake and blaming him for what happened to Grey Fox, but as the story progressed, Naomi's perspective on Snake changes.
Naomi, Liquid died from Foxhound too. What about me? When am I gonna go?
It's up to you how you use the time left to you.
She expresses regret for her choices and hopes that Snake can forgive her. Snake up until now lived only for himself, but after today's events he feels different as the two ride off into the open.
So, where to, Snake?
David. My name's David.
Okay, so where to, Dave?
In the end, MGS1's ending focuses on various themes brought up throughout the game, including genetics, identity, sacrifice, redemption, and the shadowy influences of powerful entities. It sets the stage for the broader narrative of the MGS games and leaves players with questions about the true nature of power and the consequences of unchecked technological and political manipulation. Solid Snake, known for his stoic and no-nonsense demeanor and being highly skilled in espionage, combat, all got put to the test today during the events here on Shadow Moses. Despite his tough exterior, Snake was often faced with moral dilemmas and struggled with the consequences of his actions, leading him to break away from leaving a life of seclusion. Real like the Foxhound virus in him, he took Naomi's words to heart.
Live, Snake. That's all I can say to you.
As he expresses his new look on life with Meryl.
A new path?
A new purpose.
Will we find it?
I know we'll find it.
The entire unit was wiped out. I recovered all of Rex's dummy warhead data. My cover is intact. Nobody knows who I really am. Yes, the DARPA chief knew my identity, but he's been disposed of. Inferior One was the winner after all. Until the very end, Liquid thought he was the inferior one. I'll keep her under surveillance. No one knows that you were the third one, Solidus. Thank you, Mr. President.
Metal Gear is a game that's been left in the dust by all the new graphic games of today, which can't be helped because it's just the way it goes. For me though, and many others, I'm sure the impact MGS had on me when I played it as a kid on the original PlayStation is everlasting.
I always fought for what I believed in. Snake, farewell.
If you enjoyed this video, I have more and I'm sure you'll get a kick out of them, like Dino Crisis, Silent Hill 1 and 2. I also have more on the way. Don't forget to leave Snake a like for putting on a show for you today in his PS1 graphics. Thank you for watching and take care. See you next time on Controller Type A.